Welcome to my third night playing Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, the Director's Cut. Last time on Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, the Director's Cut, we found out that the costume killer got his costume from a costume shop called the Risée du Monde, or something like that. I don't actually know how to speak French. But, so we're going to go to that place now. See if we can find anything out about the costume killer. We also found out that Nico's father was apparently maybe not a great guy, as he was involved in the suppression of an uprising somewhere in Africa that killed a bunch of people. So maybe not the best of men. Let's talk to the costume shop owner here.
Excuse me.
Bonjour, monsieur. Please, come in. Welcome. Leave the mundane world behind, for in these four walls, fantasy is king.
I don't want a costume.
Didn't you ever dress up when you were a child?
Not that I remember.
Incredible! You'll be telling me next that you never shared your elder sister's lingerie.
I don't have a sister, and I think I'd look pretty silly in a brassiere. I just need some information.
Of course. How can I help you?
How can I help you? Well, let me tell you how you can help me. Have you ever seen this man?
Have you heard of a man named Plantile?
I do not recall anyone of that name.
Have you ever sold a clown costume?
I'm looking for a man who hired a clown costume.
Not really sure what just happened to my audio. Well, while the audio isn't working, I will read the voices myself, I guess. What does this tool mean to you? Nothing, monsieur. Do you recognize this man? Oui, monsieur. I sold him some grease paint. Do you want this red nose back? Not after it's been worn, thank you. Does this dirty tissue mean anything to you? Let me smell that. Best of me is number 7, white pancake. Theatrical grease paint, right? Oui, monsieur, la crème de la crème, Vespien accoutrement. Have you sold any of it recently? Yes, 2 cans. Do you recognize this man? Ah, oui, he was here this morning. This is the man to whom I sold the grease paint. I remember the scar on his face. He chose 2 costumes, Bozo the Clown and Seamus the Pixie. A pixie? Very smart, green silk and a taffeta lining. He gave me his name as Monsieur Khan. Alright, Monsieur Khan it is. Thanks for your help, buddy. My pleasure, monsieur.
Allow me to shake you by the hand.
Huh?
There's the audio.
Well, okay. What are you trying to do, kill me?
You did not find it amusing?
I never saw the funny side of electroshock therapy.
Eh bien, it is yours to keep.
I'm not sure it's therapy, but...
Do I need a license?
No, but I give you a word of warning, monsieur.
What?
Remember to switch it off before you visit the toilet.
Alright, well. Switch it off before you visit the toilet, huh? Anything else in here? Great. I'm out of here. Alright, Todrick. I'm looking for a man named Khan.
Hello? Who is this?
Mr. Todrick?
Oh, it's you again. What now?
I'm looking for a man named Khan.
The man I'm looking for is called Khan. He bought a suit from you, remember?
Mr. Khan. Yes, I remember him. Yes, I delivered the suit to his hotel. The Hotel Ubu. I don't remember the room number. It was upstairs. The second room on the right-hand side of the corridor.
Thanks, Todrick. That's all I wanted to know. Now I've got you, Mr. Clown.
Alright. Now I've got you, Mr. Clown. Let's, go visit Mr. Clown at the Hotel Ubu. How's it going, man?
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Have you seen a clown around here anywhere?
Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?
No, I ain't. Don't tell me I missed him. Oh, that's too bad. I love the clowns, don't you?
I've seen daytime television that was funnier.
I love it when the little guys get hurt.
That figures.
Custard pies, hose pipe down the pants, then smack! A plank in the kisser.
What's up with these Sicilian French gangsters, anyways?
You ever meet a guy called Plantow?
No, I ain't.
You missed your chance. If you're quick, you'll catch him at the coroner's. Do you happen to know a guy named Khan?
That ain't nobody I know.
Alright. How about this, manhole cover lifting tool?
That is not a good idea.
How about this picture?
Do you recognize the guy in this photograph?
Is this a trick question?
No. I simply asked if you recognized him.
Okay then. No, I don't.
Alright. How about this clown nose?
Have you ever seen this clown's nose before?
Nope.
How about this dirty tissue?
Do you recognize this tissue? Think carefully now.
Ooh, ooh, ooh,
I'm gonna have to hurry you.
ooh.
Time's up, so I'll tell you. It's a used tissue with a liberal dump of Bestheimer's number 12.
If you say so.
Alright. Well.
Shake my hand.
Nah.
Oh, rats.
Alright, well, I've had enough of this guy.
See you later.
Not if you see me first.
Not if you see me first. Alright. Let me talk to this guy.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Nice mustache. It looks like you are about to tie some people to train tracks or something. Tell me about a clown.
I'm looking for a clown.
Are you trying to be funny?
No, I really am looking for a clown.
There are no clowns here except you.
How about this guy, Plantard?
Have you heard of a guy called Plantar?
No, that name means nothing to me.
How about Scar Man?
Do you know a man by the name of Khan?
No, I don't.
It's very important I get to see him, and
I told you, I don't know it.
How about this manhole cover lifting device?
what does this tool suggest to you?
Hard labor.
How about this photograph?
Do you recognize the guy in this photograph?
No, I never saw it.
How about this clown's nose?
Have you ever seen this clown's nose before?
No,
How about this dirty tissue that I found in a sewer?
What does this tissue mean to you?
are you serious?
Oh yes. Take a good look at the substance it's smeared with.
You are sick. Very sick.
Alright, shake my hand, dear fellow.
Will you shake my hand?
Are you joking? Who knows where it has been?
Alright, I'm done with you. I'm going to go inside the hotel.
Hi there, ma'am.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a man.
You disappoint me, my dear. For one foolish moment I thought... But never mind. Aren't you going to tell me your name?
George. George Stobart, ma'am.
How sweet! I once had a stable boy called George. I am Lady Piermont. The common reaction is to kneel and stutter, but it's not obligatory.
A real lady? I mean, you're an honest-to-God aristocrat?
Oh, I don't know about that. Few of my ancestors are honest, not even to God. I can trace my family back to the Normans, but don't let that intimidate you, George. Beneath that impressive pedigree, I'm just flesh and blood. The blood may be blue, but the flesh is the plump beef of old England, so to speak.
Gross.
You appear distracted, George. Is there any way I can help you?
Tell me about the two gentlemen standing outside of the hotel.
Did you know there's a gangster out front?
What makes you think he's a gangster?
The Italian suit and the bulge in his pocket?
I know plenty of men with Italian suits and bulges in their pockets. That doesn't necessarily make them gangsters.
That is fair. How about a man with a horseshoe scar on his face?
I'm looking for a murderer.
Good heavens! You're a private detective.
That's correct, ma'am.
What's the term you Americans use? It's on the tip of my tongue.
I believe what you're thinking of is Dick.
Precisely.
Alright, how about... this guy. Tell me about him.
Have you come across a man who calls himself Khan?
I am familiar with only one person named Khan.
Genghis Khan, the legendary Mongol barbarian chieftain?
No, darling. Kevin.
Kevin Khan? I never heard of him.
I'd be most surprised if you had, darling. He's a pharmacist in Hemel Hempstead. Organises fundraising for the Rotarians. Lovely man.
Does he have a scar on his cheek?
I really wouldn't know, sweetie.
Alright. Tell me about yourself, madam.
Are you here in Paris on vacation?
No, darling, I'm on holiday. I needed to get away after Algy's funeral.
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss of a loved one.
I'm not. He was my husband.
Panda Space Dan says this woman should get together with Hedonism Bot from Futurama. Yeah, they do have very similar voices, don't they?
I'm sorry to hear about your husband's death.
You wouldn't be if you knew him, my dear. It gave me the opportunity to take a well-deserved holiday. Daphne suggested a change of scenery. Paris, she said. A wild romance is just what you need to take your mind off the inquest. Well, the closest I came to romance was being wooed by a drunken Breton chef. I must say I was disappointed with his coq au vin. Not at all what I was expecting.
Coq au vin.
I was thinking of cutting my holiday short, packing my bags and heading back to Hemel Hempstead. That was until last night.
Tell me more about yourself.
What happened to you last night?
I was stricken, Mr. Stobart. Cupid's arrow has cleft my bosom.
They couldn't really miss.
It was just as I'd always imagined it should be. The intimacy of candlelight, romantic music tinkling across the room, and then a stranger's glance. Those brooding eyes, that suave manner, those tight trousers. He was the man I'd been waiting for all my life.
I'm glad he finally turned up after all these years.
Ah, but it wasn't to be. He was merely toying with my affections. And if I ever catch up with him, he's dead.
Who was the guy who led you on?
His name is Merlin.
Merlin?
Can you think of any use for this tool, ma'am?
I can think of someone I'd like to use it on.
Can you tell me about this picture?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
My God, it's him! That's Merlin!
She represented everything I loved about the English. The lady was totally deranged. Merlin? You mean King Arthur's wizard?
Good heavens, no! Monsieur Merlin is a fellow guest. He's the man I've been telling you about. That's the man who spurned me.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
The man you know as Merlin is a fake.
What do you mean, sweetie?
He's a murderer. He also uses the name Khan.
I am shocked, Mr. Stobart. Shaken. I took him to be a gentleman, a man of honor. You know, I'd rather like to assist you in stitching him up.
Good.
When did you last see Merlin?
It was no more than an hour ago. He came downstairs and spoke to that clerk chappie. Something passed hands. I couldn't see what exactly.
A briefcase?
No, smaller than that. A bundle of papers, perhaps. The clerk put it in the hotel safe and Merlin went out.
Are you sure you saw Merlin putting documents in the safe?
Yes, darling, positive.
I wonder what they were.
Obviously something of great importance.
Yeah. I'd sure like to get my hands on whatever it is. I'll bet they had something to do with Plantar's briefcase. Has Merlin returned to the hotel?
No, he hasn't. Are you going to search his room?
If I could get in there, I would.
How about this clown nose? Can you tell me about this?
Do you know what this is?
And a guess. It was a clown's nose.
That's right. It was worn as a disguise by a vicious killer.
Ah, Mr. Merlin, perchance.
Yes.
That's him.
Mr. Merlin. How about this tissue I found in the sewer? Can you tell me about that?
Does this tissue mean anything to you?
I'm no shrinking violet, but that object makes me feel quite queasy.
I just couldn't bring myself to use the buzzer on this dear lady.
Alright. Alright, let me talk to this gentleman.
Excuse me, didn't I see your picture in the news? You're that Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state.
Yes, that is me, in person.
I don't want to worry you, but have you had any threats on your life? You know, mysterious phone calls, letters made up of headlines cut from the newspaper.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Can you tell me about Plantard?
Do you know a guy called Plantar?
I don't know anybody in Paris.
Oh, well, this guy's dead anyhow.
Why do you ask me about dead men? I have seen enough of death to last me a lifetime.
I'm, sure you have.
Panda Space Dan says, tactful, your dude has a lot of cultural sensitivity. Yes, indeed. Tell me about this clownman.
Have you seen a clown?
I beg your pardon?
The clown. A guy in funny pants. Have you seen him?
My pants are from England, Marks and Spencer. They are a pleasure and a comfort to wear, with much support.
I'm real glad to hear that. You know, it's good to know you Nobel Prize winners are human too.
In my country, the people make do with string and egg cartoons.
Ah.
For pants?
For everything. Oppression is the mother of ingenuity.
I'm not sure that's true. Tell me about this manhole cover removing device.
Have you any idea what this tool might be used for?
I cannot guess.
Would it mean anything if I told you it was for lifting drain covers?
Such technology fills me with wonder.
Do you recognize this man? He calls himself Khan.
Yes, I know this man. Why do you carry his photograph?
I'm a private detective.
Tell me about Khan.
What's your interest in Khan?
He is an enemy of my people.
You know he's a killer.
Of course, amongst other things.
Tell me more, sir.
Would you help me investigate Khan?
That is not possible. My instructions are to observe. I cannot jeopardize my position as an honored guest of this country's government.
Alright. Maybe this clown's nose could shed light on the matter for us.
What does this clown's nose suggest to you?
In my country, we have no use for clowns.
Alright.
I'm glad to hear it.
They were dealt with most severely in the last cultural cleansing.
What about the mimes? Did you get them too?
All gone. Our streets are mime-free.
Sounds like heaven.
How about this soggy tissue I found in the sewer? Can you tell me about that?
Does this goo-smeared tissue mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
Alright, shake my hand.
May I shake you by the hand?
I do not shake the hands of imperialist dogs.
Fair enough.
That's a real bad attitude problem you've got there.
Alright, I'm done.
Thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
Alright, let's go check out Merlin's room. Second door on the right? Is that what it was?
If the tailor's description was correct, this was the killer's room. The sign on the door read 22. The door was locked.
But this door?
The door was locked.
Yeah. Alright. What now? What now? Oh hey, there's a desk clerk. And there's a key there. I have a feeling that I need to get that key somehow.
I want some information.
Who are you? The police?
I'm conducting a private investigation.
Ah, I know only too well what you mean. That is one of the drawbacks of the catering business. When people book into an hotel, they leave their morals at home, no?
Sure. Have you seen a clown wandering around your hotel?
I'm looking for a man who dresses like a clown.
This is a highly respectable hotel, monsieur. There are no clowns here.
Alright.
You say so.
How about this guy named Plantard?
Do you know a man named Plantar?
No, monsieur.
I'm not sure what this is depicting.
I'd like to retrieve something from your safe.
Ah, oui, monsieur. May I see some form of identification?
Like what?
A driving license, perhaps?
I don't drive.
Your passport?
I don't have it with me. I could show you my operation scar.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I must have some form of unique ID.
You won't find a more unique ID than my scar.
I'm sorry. I must insist on a more traditional identification.
Rats.
Alright, tell me about this Merlin guy.
Do you have a guest by the name of Khan?
No, monsieur. Perhaps you would care to check the register.
The man who calls himself Khan has a scar on his right cheek.
Vraiment? I tell you, I do not know a man named Khan.
Maybe not, but I noticed a change in his expression when I mentioned the scar.
Dear sir, do you know anything about this manhole cover lifting device?
What do you make of this tool?
Stunning, monsieur. I bet you handle it like a professional.
How about this picture?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yes, monsieur. That man is one of our guests.
What name?
I cannot tell you that.
It's Merlin, isn't it? Alias Khan, the clown.
I told you, I cannot tell you that.
How about this clown's nose? Can you tell me that?
Do you recognize this red nose?
No, monsieur.
Alright. I'm gonna take out the big guns now. The soggy tissue that I found in the sewer. What of this?
What do you make of this tissue?
Do you wish me to dispose of it for you, monsieur?
Hey, no! It could be useful. I'm holding on to this.
As you wish, monsieur. Perhaps you would like a little plastic baggie to keep it in?
Nah, it's fine the way it is.
Would have taken the plastic baggie, but whatever. Shake my hand, good sir.
Hey, shake my hand.
I'd rather not, monsieur. I'm still sore from the shock administered by one of the guests. He was secretly concealing an electrical device in the palm of his hand. Practical jokes are so puerile, don't you think?
Oh yeah, sure.
Sure. Alright, I'll take this key, thank you very much.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
What?
You are trying to steal that key, no?
No way.
Let me take it again.
Hey, ne touche pas!
Just looking.
Let me take a look at your register.
There was no one registered under the name of Khan, but the name in the book for room 22 was Merlin.
Of course, room 22. Good sir.
What
I must
now,
have that
monsieur?
key.
About the key hanging on the hook over there.
Oui, monsieur.
Which room is it for?
Number 21.
Is that room taken?
No. The guests checked out this morning.
Alright, let me have it.
I'd like to check into room 21.
That is not possible.
How come? You said it was vacant.
It is reserved for another guest.
Rats.
Alright.
No, monsieur. Dutch.
What? Tell me about this Merlin guy.
I believe Khan, the man with the scar, is also known as Merlin, the man who has taken room 22.
What of it? What do you want?
Access to his room.
Do you have a license, monsieur?
Huh?
A private investigator's
I have a license to kill.
Well, not exactly, but I can explain everything.
I am sorry, but without credentials, I cannot help.
I insist you give me the key to Merlin's room.
I cannot do that, monsieur.
This guy Merlin is a menace.
So you say, monsieur.
He's not only a danger to society, but to your guests as well. He has toyed with the affections of Lady Piermont.
Ciel! Are there no depths to which he will not sink?
Precisely. He's already killed once, twice, maybe as many as 3 times. With your help, I just might be able to stop him.
But what if he finds out I have helped you? No, I cannot do it.
Alright, well maybe Lady Piermont seemed more open to helping me, so let me talk to her again.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
I want this key.
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
Oh, no. It's the key to an empty room.
And why, may I ask, do you wish to gain access to an empty room? Do you plan to squat?
No, ma'am.
Scouts honor?
I was never in the Boy Scouts, ma'am.
Oh, you should have been. What were your parents thinking of? It's a fine way for a boy to get licked into shape. Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
It's next to the room the killer is using.
Ah, so you plan to eavesdrop on Merlin?
I was hoping there might be a connecting door.
Well, how can I refuse? I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case, but a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick.
Alright.
I say! You there? Flunky!
Oui, madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
But of course, madame.
Good. I wish to deposit some jewelry for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
Alright, I want this key.
Over to you, my dear.
The door was locked.
But I have a key.
Maybe it wasn't the right room, but this was the right key.
Alright, no door to the other side, huh?
There was nothing in the wardrobe apart from a vague, lingering smell of camphor.
Camphor, huh? Well, how about the dresser?
The cabinet was empty, but it smelled of onions. No kidding, it really did.
Well, I probably need to go out the window and around to the other room. Ooh, boy. Alright, this is Khan's room.
The assassin had been too smart to leave incriminating evidence beside his bed.
Alright. How about this, closet? How about the bed itself?
The bed was freshly made, and the crisp white sheets told me nothing about the killer's habits. It was the battered leather briefcase I'd seen Plantar carrying just before he died.
Aha.
I searched the interior of the briefcase, but as I'd half expected, it was empty.
Alright. Well, not sure how much good that did me.
It was Khan.
Oh,
I had
no.
the kind of feeling in my stomach that would usually send me running to the bathroom.
Time to hide.
As Khan opened the wardrobe, I was sure I was dead. But he grabbed his pants quickly and didn't even see me.
Nice.
I didn't usually spy on men getting changed. But this guy was a killer, and I didn't want any surprises. He left his checkered pants on the bed.
Alright. Let's check out these checkered pants.
A strip along the side seam of the pants had been unpicked, then sewn back up with strong thread and a special stitch. I had that kind of feeling you only get from searching still warm pants. There was
Gross.
nothing in the pocket. A strip along the then sewn.
Right?
The pocket was empty.
Of course it was.
I flipped the pants over. I found an ordinary matchbook. No matches, no clues. But as I pulled it from the pocket, a strong thread came with it. A thread with a metal tag on the end.
Aha.
I pulled on the metal tag and the thread came out of the pants. It was like pulling out a ripcord.
Interesting.
I found nothing in the pocket. I turned the pants over again. I searched the pocket gingerly and found a pass card.
Nice.
It read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation. There was nothing in the pocket.
Alright. What else did I find?
The matchbook bore a pattern of swirling color and the words, Club Alamut.
Alright. Well. Guess that's everything. Hey clerk, I have this piece of identification.
What now, monsieur?
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe. I can live with that. A murderer? Are you sure?
Positive.
Alright. Do I want to give him the keys back?
Do you recognize this key?
That is the property of the Hotel Ubu.
Correct.
May I ask how it found its way from the little book to your pocket?
Would you believe it was put there by a poltergeist?
No, monsieur. The hotel is regularly
good.
serviced by an exorcist. If we had a ghost, Father Fécond would have flushed it out.
I suppose you want the key back.
Not spécialement. The room is vacant. Since you are so determined to conduct your little investigation, I won't stop you.
Alright. How about this matchbook? Will this get me anywhere?
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
How about this identification card?
Did I show you this pass?
Oui, monsieur.
Alright. Maybe Lady Piermont can help me.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes, darling.
Okay. Well,
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has 1,000,000 faces. I showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers, but he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be scared of. Follow me, George! Did you place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
One moment, please.
You know, I haven't enjoyed myself this much since Greenham Common.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Lady Piermont.
Voila, monsieur.
this
Le manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
desk clerk has a very interesting swagger.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
Alright. So I should probably get safely back into Nico's apartment then.
I couldn't leave the hotel with the manuscript. It was probably what those thugs were looking for.
Alright. Then what do I do? Can I get down from here?
The cobbles of the alleyway looked very distant and very hard.
Can I just like chuck the manuscript out?
I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands of the goons waiting outside.
Nice. Time to chuck an ancient manuscript on the ground below. Hopefully it doesn't blow away in the wind. You could have tied a rock to it or something.
Just a minute, monsieur.
What's your problem?
No problem, if you cooperate.
What do you want?
Just a routine security check. Nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch.
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Flap.
Alright, well. Not sure how I feel about those two goons. Is this the alleyway here? There we go.
If the manuscript was what Flap and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed.
Alright.
I couldn't wait to get back to Nico's apartment and check it out.
What wizard is complimenting one of the gangster's mustaches? Yep,
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi.
it's quite
Come in,
good.
Josh.
Hi, Nico. What's up? Tell me about this clown.
What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
Research, Josh.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh, well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet. I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking?
I'm not sure why you're being so hostile here. George, come on, man.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore. There was someone. A guy in my final year, but it didn't work out. Neither did my degree.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Tell me more about your family.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend the winter with my grandfather and grandma. They were the best times. Warm and safe in their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his scrolling. He put the lid back on his tobacco jar and took me in his arms. I laughed and wriggled, but he hushed me to be silent. With his unshaven chin all scratchy in my ear, he told me his secret.
What did he say?
He said, I don't smoke, but she likes to think I do.
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that cottage instead of this crummy apartment in this noisy city.
Alright, so... Do you have anything to tell me about, Oh, hey, I can try to do this electroshock, buzzing prank on you.
Hey, Nico, shake hands with me.
No chance, Buster.
Damn. Can you tell me anything about this matchbook, Nico?
I found this matchbook in the killer's hotel room. It's from the Club Alamut.
Never heard of it. Is there anything written inside it?
No, what were you expecting?
If this was a movie, there'd be a clue. A name or an address. That's no use. There aren't even any matches in it.
Oh well, I'll keep it as a souvenir.
How about this, club card?
I found this in the killer's room.
What is it? A credit card?
ID, Thomas Merlin, of the Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Never heard of him or the company.
Alright.
You're just not going to believe what I've found.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
It's a medieval manuscript. Khan left it in the safe at the U-boot.
It's incredible. Is this what he took from Plantar?
It could be, which means it's worth enough to kill for.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Oh yeah, maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar? Their official seal was an image of two knights sharing a horse. Whatever this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades. This guy, named Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land, safer journeys,
meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and number. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans. But at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture and confessed to heresy. Of course, at the hands of the Inquisition, there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to. The last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive.
Jeez. So the treasure is hidden, waiting to be discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years. Anyway, we're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his accomplices are after.
The clown and his accomplices.
Maybe this manuscript is the key.
Is this about the Joker
You'd
now?
better leave it here for safekeeping.
Let's look at this manuscript again.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Right? There are two guys on the same horse.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
I don't think I'd like to be half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
What's that object between them?
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod.
It's a regular Indiana Jones light majigger.
There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover. It's a clue to a place, I reckon. Somewhere famed for weaving and ships.
Where folk live in barrels?
It beats copper boxes.
It looks like a knight with a crystal ball.
A knight with a crystal ball. There's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's written in Latin. Per disciplinam mea lux videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak Latin? Where did you learn a trick like that?
A trick? I studied law, okay? I can read Latin.
My, you're touchy. Tell me that again.
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the wicked queen in Snow White.
She was the one who said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid. Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She didn't frighten me in the least.
Like I said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either.
Let's face it, we need help, George. Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
I know a guy who specializes in medieval studies. His name is Lobino.
Huh. Some stuffy old fossil who gets horny over ancient relics, I suppose.
Far from it. Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
Where can I find this Lobino guy?
At the Krone Museum. I'll give you the address.
Alright.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
I guess we don't have to actually do that. I think I've looked at everything. Okay. Let's, how do I get out of here?
There's a woman looking at her, but the...
Huh.
A night through my... There's between...
Look.
Alright. Alright, I think we're done here.
I have to go.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobino at the Krone Museum.
Fine, I will go to the Krone Museum. That is my next stop. Rosary. There we go. Alright. Krone Museum. Hello, dear sir.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No. I am the deputy custodian.
But Lobino does work here.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. It's studied here most days.
What is this
but
work?
As you can see for yourself, not today.
Alright.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar. Though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
Of
They
course.
ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar. Not like Monsieur Lobineau.
Alright. Enough about Lobineau already.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
Alright.
What does this tool mean to you?
That belongs in a museum.
Pardon?
It is a priceless historical artifact, if I am not mistaken.
No, it's a plain old tool for lifting drain covers.
Have you seen this man?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. Is there any reason why I should?
I guess not.
How about this clown's nose?
Do you recognize this red nose?
I don't think so.
How about this used, soggy tissue I found in the sewer earlier?
What do you make of this tissue?
It is absolutely disgusting, monsieur.
Shake my hand.
Would you like to shake my hand?
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur.
How about this matchbook?
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
Oh no, I don't frequent places like that.
Places like what? How about the man on this ID card?
Do you recognize this ID pass? No.
Alright, well, I have not learned much useful from you.
Thanks for your help. In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marne at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory. Ireland!
What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited.
Like how you can mess around with this thing.
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
Nice.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
Oh, man.
Attention! Please do not open the window, monsieur.
Don't you think it's kind of stuffy in here?
Better stuffy than dead.
What's the problem? Fumes from car exhausts?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a new burger bar opened up across the street. The Laughing Buffalo.
So what's the problem?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill, and the fat falls on the open flame. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled, and it stinks like a funeral pyre. That is why I keep the windows closed.
Alright, well. Am I supposed to, like, prop it open somehow? Oh, well. Alright. Let's see how Nico's doing, I guess. Back in Nico's apartment.
Hi. I've been to the Croon Museum.
Did you speak to Lobineau?
No, he wasn't there.
Alright, so this tripod thing I found.
I found the tripod.
Where?
In the museum, it belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marn.
I have heard of Loch Marn. I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
A popular gossip magazine. You read that rubbish?
No, I write it.
Professor Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marn. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University in order to devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a 4th series of his popular television program. This site at
Just
Loch
like a
Marn
gossip
must be awful
magazine.
important to him.
Stories about
He's a professor
professors.
of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you feel about a trip to Ireland?
Disappointed.
Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the Bellotta case. If you really think Pegram's dam is important, why don't you visit Loch Marn?
On my own? I'm not so sure about that. Where is Ireland exactly?
Oh, man. Alright, tell me about the clown.
Have you found out any more about the murders?
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clown's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The 2nd week of July. They were both here at the same time.
Did they meet?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
Alright.
I have to go.
Okay, I'll see you later.
To Ireland, I guess. Loch Marn.
I passed the castle on the way into Loch Marn. The castle where Pegram's excavation was located.
Well, I have made my way to Ireland, everyone. And that seems like a good enough place to stop for tonight. In the nation of Ireland. And according to this game, I am 32% of the way through. So, I will play again tomorrow, I guess. Find out what will happen in Ireland on the exciting journeys of George, I guess. Good night, and farewell.